It's Dumbass of the Day brought to you by Peterson Jukart. They're in A-Town. Don't forget, big box stores can be overwhelming. Not at Peterson Jukart. They're online, Peterson, the letter Ucart.com. Don't waste your time and money when it comes to landscape supplies. Go over there, talk to them, get one-on-one, let them help you out. Plus, they load. Ucart, and you save.
How pathetic can some people be?
I found out recently I grind my teeth, and they say that's why. Because all day long we have to be nice to people all the time. We have to be nice to everybody all day long. Picture it. When I worked in an office, there was a woman in my office who was so perky. My ass would twitch when she would come up the elevator. You know the type, like shows up, she always got a load of something she just whipped up. Makes it seem like it's no big deal. This woman would walk in the door like a Broadway show. She'd be like, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning." She's got a candy jar in her office. Always had like freshly baked muffins. She's got mitts on because they're hot and fresh. Wrote the tea with the hot, fresh muffins. Announces it to the office. Yeah, like it's no big deal. "Okay, you guys, I got up at 4:30. I jogged 7 miles. I knitted a sweater and I made these muffins." I want to staple the muffin horse head. I'm always hiding in my office. She would come find me. She'd be like, "Hey, you. How are you this morning? Are you tired this morning? You look so tired this morning. Oh my God. Oh my God, you look horrible." "Are you working hard or hardly working?" "I'm still drunk, so get out of here."
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOC.
That just reminds me of working with people that I've tried to set up to get fired in the past. We did this to a guy we worked with who annoyed the hell out of us.
We got him fired?
No, we didn't get him fired, but we were trying to get him in trouble all the time. He would do this stuff, and I would just make it apparent to the owners what he was doing.
He ultimately ended up getting himself fired.
Yes, he did.
Faked some kind of injury.
But I remember we used to get these $50 American Express cards, and he would take them and go buy himself. They were supposed to be used to give away to as prizes, and he would take them and buy stuff, whatever. It was a $50 cash card.
Oh, yeah.
Go to
It was
bars.
for, like playing like the crappiest music on the radio station.
Yeah, which was totally illegal to do it that way. They could give you this to give away, but you couldn't keep it just to play the song. And so I made it very apparent. I would leave these envelopes over by one of the manager's desks. But he was so nice, he never did anything about it. So.
You're like, whatever.
Larry.
Larry would have fit in good in the UK. And Nate would have probably kept his job in the UK.
Oh, you're calling him out by name.
If it was 2021. Colin Kane is in line for compensation from his former employer after he was fired March 10th of last year. See, what happened was on March 9th, he called in sick and said, "I can't come to work today."
That happens. People get sick.
Is a smoker and has had a serious lung condition.
Oh.
He's been driving for Debmat Resurfacing since 2012. So he's a driver. He drives the truck, and then the workers get the surfacing products off the truck, and then he takes the truck, and so he doesn't have to, he doesn't have to feel great to drive. That afternoon, March 9th last year, right before the pandemic, too, a week later, man, he would have been saved because he wouldn't have been able to go to the pub. He was spotted by a colleague at a pub near his work. He was drinking alcohol and smoking. So then the bosses called him because, one of the guys goes in and says, "Dude, I saw Cullen. He's not sick today. He's down at O'Shady's and he's drinking."
Oh, no.
So when they called Colin, he answered the phone. He says, "Oh, yeah, I'm not feeling good at all. I've been in bed all day with my chest." Disciplinary action was taken against him, and he was fired last July for dishonesty and breaching the company's rules. But
that seems legitimate if he was lying.
I think so, too. I was fired for a job in a very similar fashion. Do you remember? It was a football game. I was working at the Holiday Inn Express. And I was supposed to work that day, but I had a bunch of friends coming to town in college.
And you called in sick.
And I called in sick, and then I went to the bar. And then one of my friends stayed back at our apartment, and he had happened to answer the phone because back before cell phones and stuff like that, anybody who was there would answer a phone. So Clark answers the phone, and
this was our apartment.
Yeah, and he'd be like, "Hey, is Jeff there?" The guy that had to cover my shift at the Holiday Inn Express. "Hey, is Jeff there?" And Clark's like, "No, who's this?" And he goes, "This is Jason." Well, I happen to have two friends in town whose name was Jason that Clark knew. And he goes, "Oh, hey, Jason." No, he went down to Shakers, which was a bar in town.
Everybody knew it. Yep.
He's like, "Oh, he's at Shakers because he's supposed to be at work." Then Jason decides to get off work, come down to Shakers.
Hey, how you feeling, Jeff? But it was a college town. This was done 99% of the time. He didn't have to fire you over it, but he did.
That's fine. But the judge...
We didn't get no more big cans of free biscuits and gravy.
Possibly, I would have kept my job if Judge Andrea Pitt was on the bench of the Holiday Inn Express. She found this week that he had been unfairly sacked because the company's rules did not specify that workers could not socialize while off sick. So this is something for every PR department to take note of right now. If you don't have it written in your rules...
You mean HR?
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, HR. I always get the two mixed up. Thank you. PR too.
I wonder what ours says.
Right, I know. I want to go look at the employee handbook right now. If you call in sick, you're not to be seen socializing. Because you do this all the time. When somebody calls in sick here, you check their Facebook feed immediately.
Stop. I'm not that kind of guy.
He loves it.
I'll Dwight Schrute your ass.
Jeremy gets here a little bit before me. He finds out that people called in sick a little bit before me, and then he's like a bulldog. He's like chomping at
one
my
of our
ass.
buddies.
He's like, you know what that son of a bitch was doing last night at 11:30?
11:30 at night. Posts a picture from him and friends out at the bar. Next morning calls in sick. I'm like, this guy's an idiot.
This is why I think you should be in our HR department.
No, I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't have came down on him. I'm just like, dude, hey, jackass, you can't post pictures of you and your girlfriend out at a bar with your friends, selfie time at 11:30 at night, and then call in the next morning at 5 a.m.
There is, the judge said there's nothing in the disciplinary procedure prohibiting an employee from acting in this way when they call in sick. So, he gets compensation for the entire time that he's been unemployed after he was fired.
His full salary?
Yeah.
Look at that. And then he can let the birds fly.
Oh, man.
This is middle management. I guarantee you it was a middle manager that fired him because he got pissed off because they think they're so important that if anybody lies to them, they're done.
HR
Any
department,
bit, a little bit of power.
HR department on this one.
Is it the HR department?
Yeah, you got to make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed on this one. And,
I know somebody in HR that's constantly educating. They're constantly getting up to date on laws, policies.
And if you work in the HR department and you don't have this written in your policy now, just know that.
God, you sound like such a whistleblower.
Granted, it was in the UK, so the precedent has not been set here in the United States, but, I mean, a judge could see this as influence.
I just can't believe anybody would lie and call in sick just so they could have a day off.
Congratulations to the HR department. You're Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day.
Nobody's making a big deal about this, but move over, Octo-Mom. There's now Decu-Mom. 10 babies at once. So, Octo-Mom, are you kidding me? Like, nobody's making a big deal about this? She had sextuplets and then later informed that there were 8, was even more. There was 10. She delivered 10 babies. She's 37 years old. This happened in South Africa. Did you hear about this? I saw it. I saw a woman that had 10 babies last night. Maybe it was the day before.
Yeah, nothing shocking anymore. Like in 2008 or whenever Octo-Mom was, I see how I picked 8. Octo-Mom was a thing. That was, I mean, there's still some shocking things in society. I believe now that, especially the last year that we've gone through, you have 10 babies, people are like, okay, let's move on. That's how society is. Let's move on, which is sad. because
look at Octo-Mom was on radio. She had her own TV show or something for a while.
10 babies turned into a porn star or whatever.
She did porn. I mean, yeah. What about Decu-Mom? Is she going to get to do all this? Probably not. She's going to lose out because her timing was bad. I mean, I don't know. It's weird how times change, and like we made Octo-Mom a superstar,
and a villain.
Decu-Mom,
and a villain.
Way more impressive, and a villain.
Why do we make Octo-Mom a villain
and a slut,
and not John and Kate +8? Because which one had a more damning effect on society?
She was. Yeah, Octo-Mom, I felt bad for her. Kate, she was evil. I still think she's evil.
She is. She's really a mean person.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here. Another sword story. I know how much you love a good sword story. Police say an argument over a TV remote control ended with one man being stabbed with a sword. I know you love these stories because
I just don't understand the need for a sword.
It's a great weapon.
Post 1800 society. I mean, the guns came along in the 1800s, and people still have this.
You had roommates, right? Did you ever get any big fights with your roommates?
Sword.
Did you ever get a big fight with your roommates?
I did get in a fight once.
Who was the roommate?
Kevin.
Oh yeah, he was a jerk.
Yeah, we got in a fist fight. We got in a fist fight once.
He was scrappy though, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he was tough. He was a tough one, but I was bigger.
Yeah, he was short.
Eventually, I just kind of figured out my way to fall on top of him and then hold them down. But yeah, he was scrappy. He was a tough one.
What was the fight over? Do you remember?
I don't. We were roommates. There was probably alcohol involved.
Yeah, I know that when I got in a fight with Ernie, your buddy Ernie, who, when I say Jeff's buddy Ernie, he was my friend too, but I met him through Jeff. They went to high school together. I didn't meet Jeff and Ernie and a handful of other people till I went to community college with Jeff after high school. And then we ended up going to school together at Washington State and had to go across the state to go to school. And Jeff and Ernie came over and were our roommates for a while. Jeff went back to continue his life on the west side and work, and Ernie decided to stay and party. Mm-hmm. And Ernie got some money.
Which is the better move.
Ernie got some money. He was Native American. I think he got some tribe money or something like that, so he didn't have to work right away. He did end up getting a job, though. But anyways, to get to my point, we came back from the bars one night. I don't know what we were doing. We were in his room, and he threw a jar of peanut butter at my head, and I picked up a old school wooden stereo receiver and threw it at his head. And then we just started wrestling, and he was scrappy for who he was.
Yeah,
he was tough.
Ernie was chunk.
I was actually really lucky because I don't think he ever got pissed off, because I saw him get pissed off once at a bar.
Oh yeah,
and he was the kind of guy that would jump on top of you and start beating the crap out of you, and would not stop until somebody pulled him off. So I know for a fact he really wasn't that mad at me that night.
Right,
there were some punches thrown.
I think he understood the ramifications of the living situation, and that you guys were going to have to live together and all that stuff.
We were drunk and we were fighting, but
if he didn't know you, he would have tore you apart. Yeah. I've seen that happen with him before.
He is definitely. The night I saw him do that, I realized I changed. I used to talk. I talk trash to everybody just to be funny, and I realized that there was going to be a line I was going to draw between what I was getting, how far I would take things with Ernie. But anyways, we got into it one night. We had peanut butter all over us. I can't believe we didn't put a hole in the wall. We were throwing each other around. It was more wrestling than fighting. But anyways, these roommates got into a fight over over a remote control.
And one of them pulled out a sword.
And stabbed the other one. He had to go to the hospital. He's going to be all right.
I think you're a little bit dumber to pick up a stereo receiver and chuck it at your friend's head than a sword. I don't.
Well, here's the deal. It was your stereo receiver, but I didn't even think about it. It reacted.
Right.
Somebody throws something at you, you pick up whatever's next to you, and you throw it. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, it wasn't plugged into anything. That's why it worked. And I just picked it up and threw it. It was just like sitting there on a stack of like milk
It was
crates.
Super light. I remember looking at that thing thinking that it looked heavy. And then when I picked it up, it was super light.
He put his hands up and hit it. It's great.
Had an 8-track in it.
Yeah,
That's why I kept it.
It was metal, but it was really wood around on the outside. Yeah, it was trashed.
Oh, it was a piece of junk anyways. I think we got it at Kmart. It was like my family's. It was an heirloom from when I was a kid.
What was the stupidest thing you got in a fight with your roommate about 805-543-3693. Could be past, could be present. Those are the 805 Beer text lines.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.